see here. It starts the transcription and then the recording's a bit delayed. All right, good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday, September 16th. You are on MS Office Hours. I am one of your co-hosts, Heather Cox. With me today is my other co-host,
Victoria Dean.
And we're missing part of our party, but we are lucky because we have got, she's showcasing some fun for us there. We've got our fabulous host, our presenter today, Andrea. We're going to turn it over to you and go for it. Enjoy.
Awesome. Thanks so much, everybody. Again, I'm Andrea Tseng-Rioux, doing the double check that I'm not on mute. And I asked Darren to turn on his camera for me because one of the really cool new things that has just recently been released is creating your own custom scenes. And I had one that was way cooler, but I can't figure out how to add a second one just yet. So I will get back to you on that when I show you these directions. But I just took Heather's phenomenal graphics and threw them into a together mode scene. So if you go to together mode, you would see this one there. And I was able, what I thought was really cool is that I got to pick how many people could be included. So I only picked 4 because my original thought was to have the 4 co-hosts, you know, pop up on here. And then I created another one, which is the one I was going to have everybody participate in. So I'll show you what it looks like. Is I was going to have 18 slots, but you can designate them to be larger or smaller. So you can have the organizer stand out more if it's the instructor and you wanted to have everybody there, or if you're putting together a panel discussion or something along those lines and giving everyone the directions to take a look at the together mode scene. So I'm going to start the presentation that I have for today, and it's going to walk through step by step how to start these, and I'll drop the links in the chat. Give it 1 second. Doing a lot on my computer and it's moving a little bit slow this afternoon. Maybe, here we're going. There we go, creating together mode scenes. Did it play? There it goes. So you're really able to, in the design studio, without installing anything, you pull in your picture, decide how many participants that you have, and you are able to move them around and put the participants where you would like. So just to show you how I did that, in this presentation here, I have one that's actually the background. So if you're looking at my list here, you'll see together mode office hour background. That is my background when I click to open in the design studio. I didn't have to load anything. All of it happens right here. These are the graphics that Heather has used, and then I can move these folks around, except my computer froze, anywhere I would like. One of the really cool things in these objects, if I look at this first person, and this wasn't in the directions that I had, like I said, I will make sure that you've got all these links, but this person, I was able to designate as the meeting organizer and set the size of that video to be larger than all the others. So I set 1, 2, 3, and 4 at 125%. I like what Joe said, it's like assigned seating. And those folks are marked as presenters. So I have one meeting organizer, and then I can set those meeting presenters, which you'll see have the person with the podium right there. Lots of peeps. So that you know that they're organizers or presenters, and you can see that they're a little bit larger. And then I just randomly scattered the other folks. You can also put them in a different order. So you'll notice that if I move this green bar back up, it kind of sits over the shoulder of person 3. So you can kind of give your scenes depth. So if you want to take a picture of that iconic place on campus or your actual classroom, if you were going to do some hybrid and some remote virtual classroom settings, you've got the power to do that now. And with all the other together mode scenes that I've seen, you've got the teacher and then everybody else is kind of random. The fact that you can assign those presenter slots, I think is really powerful, especially if you're going to be doing a boardroom or something along those lines. Let me get you the link for this and then I will jump back to the presentation. Let's see if it will copy and paste while I've got so much going on. Marge asked, I missed the point, assigned seating and sizing is for together mode, but not for other modes yet. This is just allowing you to create your custom together mode scenes. That's not exactly assigned seating. It's giving the people, you can designate where they'll be on the screen as the meeting organizer or those that are presenting. Regular meeting attendants, they will randomly fill in those slots as they turn their camera on. So you saw earlier, when I was sharing my screen, or if you go to together mode now, you're only going to see me in that scene. But Heather, because she's the meeting organizer, would always come in that red area because that's where her spot is designated as the meeting organizer. But Victoria and I could come in at any of the other slots as meeting presenters. All right. And back to our slide deck. So new and super exciting, these are landing, is the reporter style or the side-by-side. So these have just landed in most of the customers that I've been working with and tenants that I've seen. You can now have it be over the corner or over the side. So I will show you. I've been playing with this all day today. That now I am in the corner. I can point at the different objects on the screen for you to be able to see them. I can, kind of have that weatherman effect, or I can switch to the side-by-side. The side-by-side does have an image in the background. I don't know if you can reset that image. If you've set a background for yourself, as you can see, it's going to come through, which is really great. But I don't know if anybody else on the call knows, can you change that image in the background? I'm not 100% sure.
Yes, I believe you can.
Perfect. Thanks, Heather. And then the last one in that mode, and you get to those modes by either going to the bar at the top or selecting it when you share your screen before you share your desktop, is where you can make yourself a little bit larger and really put it over your shoulder. I think these are all weird for me, so I'm going to go back to just the presentation. All right, reading progress updates. Super exciting to know that it has rolled out across all of the tenants, and now you have sample content from ReadWorks, which means you no longer have to supply your own content if you don't want to. You still have the ability to supply your own passages and your own content as a Word document or a PDF, and you'll be able to use this information from ReadWorks right in your assignments. This is really giving teachers the time back to utilize that conferencing and having students use the reading progress to record their passages ahead of time. Great for our language learners to put in there. It's really exciting to see all the great things that are happening with reading progress. Is anybody on the call using it in the higher ed with world language or exchange students or anything? I'd love to hear how you guys are using it. All right, bookings. Bookings has had a facelift. So you're going to see Scott, go ahead. Okay, Bookings has just recently undergone a facelift. You have the ability to toggle it on or toggle it off if you need to. I love how easy it is to see everything now with the clean drop downs, making it really easy. But one of the unique ways that I have seen some library folks or media center folks using Bookings is to create staff members as spaces that they're using in their area and giving it a fake email address so they can schedule out different areas of their media center through Bookings, so they can see everything in this new viewable view right here to see which spaces are used at which times. It is a phenomenal tool for parent-teacher conferences, exactly what Scott just said, and being able to schedule. In fact, Heather, if you've ever gotten an email from Heather, has a Bookings link in her signature, so you can book time with her, as many others do. Teachers are loving this ability to use Bookings for a variety of reasons. So again, Bookings has had a phenomenal facelift, and it's a little bit easier to navigate now. And there is a whole new course in the Microsoft Education Center that has step-by-step videos for getting this set up. Oh, that's a good call out, Andy, of being able to share those calendars and share them on a website. You're wanting to share this view or just the Bookings page where you sign up, Andy?
I'd love to be able to see several different Bookings calendars. Like if I'm scheduling hot desks, cubicles for people to use when they're coming in from working off campus, be able to see 4 different hot desks calendars at the same time, so that then they can choose the time that works for them and the desk that works for them.
Yeah, so here's my workaround for you. Go in and create a staff member for each of those hot desks and do desk 1 at none.com, desk 2 at none.com, desk 3 at none.com, and then don't have it attach a meeting link when you're scheduling with that. And then you'll be able to select the service, like a 2-hour block, a 3-hour block, whatever your blocks are. And then when it selects a staff member, it could choose one of those 4 desks, and it allows you to compare them quickly, which ones will be available, and the ones that aren't available won't be in that drop-down list under staff. So it's a little bit of a hack if anybody cares to use that. Something missing in the ability to take payments. Something's missing for you in Bookings to take the payments, like you don't have the buttons for a PayPal or a Vimeo or something along those lines?
Yeah, so like so looking at Teams and Bookings as they've also merged together there, the way this was initially rolled out was, for hair salons and places that did appointment bookings. The idea behind it too is now with people going virtual, doing webinars, it would be great if you could tie in a Stripe account or an authorized.net account, so then that way you could actually take payments for virtual webinars or even doing continuing education in the community. So our workaround has been, you go and pay first and then you get access to the rest of it later, but that would be a really good additional feature.
Yes. We'll definitely take note and take it back to that product team. I've done so much in education and not wanting to even see that field on those. So it just surprised me to hear about it, but it's a great use case. I understand what you're saying totally. If you've got folks signing up for paid for courses, you definitely need to be able to do all of that in one place and not 2 or 3 different places, as I imagine that could be frustrating as a user trying to figure out how they get all the pieces done for that. Thanks for sharing. All right, and then the next one that I'm going to share with you guys that's got a lot of new stuff that you definitely want to check out, maybe, here we go, is Forms. Forms has had some big updates over the summer, and I don't know that we talked about on our last What's New in EDU call, but Forms now has that insights to really see what is coming out of those text fields when you've got text responses. You now have the ability to get word clouds, which has been really great. In fact, I had a school district have their students fill out what school they were from for a webinar that we did on Tuesday, and it was great to be able to see that word cloud afterwards of, you know, who attended the most is obviously the larger words or had the most participation from their school. So having some new ways to see that information on the back end of your forms. And then finally, one that we've been waiting for a long time in Microsoft Forms is those font and style editors. This is a huge improvement for being able to draw out important words, identify things, italicize, cite things correctly. It's just been phenomenally important when we are sending out those forms. It's also working in all the places that you can see forms. So I believe it's also working in forms when you post a form inside a team or a team meeting. You're going to get some of those options as well. I don't know if that's finished rolling out, but we should see it soon, I hope. And then the last thing that I'm going to share with you today is kind of a passion project and definitely goes to what Scott was saying earlier, of giving something to you guys to take away and take back with you to your groups and users. And this is one that I worked with, and I think my colleague from Georgia Tech is on currently, but this is something we developed there as a norms template and helping people really decide how they're going to leverage and utilize Microsoft Teams. As this shift is happening, we have never really stopped and taken the time to figure out the best way. And some folks are still in that, like, is it in Outlook? Is it in Teams? Is it somewhere else that we can't find it? And just taking this template here, which is a PowerPoint template that really gives a guide to how we're going to share that communication. And there's Kim. She loves it at Georgia Tech. And so I'm going to pull up a second example, which is actually one that's been completed. And when you open up that template, you will be able to see it. Let me bring this over here. This example will be the first page here, but it really talks about how are we going to post. If you've ever had a training with me, you know that my #1 biggest pet peeve is that every conversation should have a subject. You wouldn't send an email when you start, you wouldn't send an email without a subject. Please, 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 please don't start a conversation in Teams without putting a subject and using that font editor to have that. If you utilize the A format button when you start a post, it will give you the ability to add that subject, and it really helps to be able to search and find information faster. It's also more engaging for the eye. For somebody who is scrolling through Teams and scrolling through so much information on the computer, having that subject line really draws their attention and allows them to really see it. So I really, really recommend that. And this is an example from one of the groups that we worked with and kind of some other ones that I've pulled together. And I'll show the URL again in just 1 second. Using the @mention when you're calling somebody out when it's actually an action item is a great piece. Also look at the general to just the owners and announcements. That's a great call out of how you're going to utilize the different channels and those pieces. We will find out. The template is aka.ms/normtemp, but I will find out why. It says that you need permission to open it. I'll figure out why that is, and I will either redo it or get it back and post it in the team for you, because you should be able to open it. But really taking time to go through those basic expectations. And I think a lot of folks started dropping some of theirs. Norm temp is not working. Definitely. Yeah, we'll have to figure out why it's not opening. I can just upload no, I can't upload the file here. But that is just a great example of how you can organize that communication in a one-pager. It's a PowerPoint document and you'll be able to share it. I'll make sure to get the template posted in the team and find so that you guys can use it. But feel free to take the next minute or two to drop. Yeah, Andy, I don't want you to have to do that. I have a feeling it's because I'm new to this VDash account and there's something there I don't know about. So I'll have to work and get that fixed. I'll get with Victoria afterwards. So that's what I have for you guys today. Victoria, anything that you want to add before maybe we end a little bit earlier? We can't hear you, Victoria.
It's like I do this every single day. I've been here just over a year now, and I'm still just like talking on mute. This is, I don't know when it's going to end, but yeah, I can't think of anything. I think this is really cool, Andrea, just a little bit, you know, different than the norm of just like, hey, here's what's on the roadmap, but actually, you know, seeing how we can use these features. We got a question from Lisa. What tool did you use to create the Together Mode slide?
So I didn't use, I literally took this link and I will drop it again in the chat. It was in the blog and it opens up right into those developer tools and I sign in with my account. Oh, good Lord, that was ugly when I pasted it that time. Oh, there it goes. And I just did everything right there. I added PNG files, so I didn't have any items, but it was just in the developer portal, and it gives you a direct link, nothing special. And then I click View in Teams, and it loaded right in for the one that I have. I believe I need to restart Teams to get this one to show up in there, and I haven't done that. So definitely take time to test your team and make sure, or your Together Mode scene, that it's in there before you go to present it like I did. I tested this one, but I never tested my second one because I was like, oh, look, it's working. It's perfect. So
awesome. And now
I don't know the answer to Mark's question, so I'm going to hand that off to Victoria.
Okay, yeah, and I'm going to stop the recording since we're asking a few other questions.